Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, nobody wants to be the center of attention when it comes to an embarrassing situation. And yet we've all been there before. And some of us may even be so horrified as to want to try to erase these memories from our minds altogether. But I think that embarrassing moments can actually be something that we can learn from and gain from. For example, I think that embarrassing moments can keep us humble, and I think it can also give us sympathy for others when we witness them in similar situations. I think they can also give us perspective as to how we handle ourselves in those circumstances. And lastly, I think that they can teach us to not take ourselves so seriously, because honestly, we all know that embarrassing situations usually are also funny, and so later down the line, we can typically look back and laugh on them. So today I'd like to share with you an embarrassing moment that I had when I was younger, and I certainly have not erased it from my memory. I was in the first grade, and I had just come out of the shower, and just my mom, my sister, and I were home. And I had to ask my mom a quick question, so I didn't bother to put any clothes on, and I left the bathroom. And I was on my way to the kitchen where my mom was cooking, and before I could turn the corner, there was a knock on the front door. So out of instinct, I was about to go answer, and then I realized, oh, I probably shouldn't answer the door this way. And so I was kind of stood frozen there for a second, because my mom was busy, my sister probably hadn't heard the door, she was in the bedroom. And as I was thinking about these thoughts, my mom came dashing out of the bathroom, and she ran right by me. She didn't even see me standing there. And she started making a beeline right to the front door. By the time she had her hand on the doorknob, I realized I was still standing in the middle of the living room, and I probably had to go back to my bedroom. And I realized I wasn't going to make it back to my bedroom in time. And so there was a couch right by the door, and I did the first thing I could do, and I dove right behind it, and I was hiding behind the couch. And I was looking through the crack of the couch at the front door, and I see my mom open up the door, and she's just talking to somebody. And then to my horror, she opens the door and says, "Come on in, have a seat." And then she shuts the door and she goes back to the kitchen like, "Oh, let me get you some drinks," and she goes to get some snacks. So I'm sitting here crouching behind the couch thinking, oh my goodness, they're about to come into the house, I can't run at this point. And they come and sit right on the couch that I'm hiding behind. I could touch them, they're right there. And it ends up being my mom's friend, and her friend had brought her son with her, who was a boy that I went to school with. He was 1 year older than me. And so they're just sitting there, and I'm sitting there, I'm wondering, how long are they going to be here? Maybe, hopefully it's just a few minutes, and hopefully I can hide for that long and no one notices me. And as I'm thinking, I'm like, maybe they're going to be here for an hour or two. Can I be quiet? Will they not see me? And as I'm running through all these thoughts, I see something out of the corner of my eyes, my sister. And she had just poked her head out of the bedroom, and she saw this entire scene on the phone. So she sees my mom's friend and her son. She can hear my mom in the kitchen, and she sees her naked little sister behind the couch, and she's looking at me like, what are you gonna do? And so I just look back at her like, well, what can I do? I'm just gonna sit here and make myself as small as possible. But of course, my sister throws a wrench into my plan, and she just looks at me and says, no. You better run, hurry. I'm like, run. So I'm thinking, run? I mean, I can't run. The guests are going to see me. There's no way I can get by them. But she's my older sister. She's 2 years older. I respect her. So I'm thinking, okay, well, what if I don't run? What's the worst that can happen? And then all these horrible thoughts start crossing my mind. What about maybe like an hour in, they might all of a sudden hear me, or someone might go to the bathroom on the way back, they see me. And they might wonder, this naked girl's been just sitting here this whole time. And so at that point, I decided, I was resolute. I looked at my sister, and I was just like, okay, all right, I'm gonna run. So I take a deep breath, and I count to 3, and I just made a mad dash for the corner, and I just ran into the bedroom. We shut the door, and I never came out. I'm sure the guests saw me. They didn't say anything. I don't really recall what happened after that. Amazingly, my mom, my sister, even the boy that I went to school with, they never brought up the incident to me. I don't even know if they remember it. I'm probably the only person that remembers it to this day. And looking back, I do wonder, why didn't I just say something? When I was standing here, my mom was going to the door, why didn't I just say, Mom, stop, hold on, let me get back to my bedroom? And I also wonder, when I was hiding behind the couch and my sister was saying, run, why didn't she just come out with a towel or a blanket and help me back? But I think memories like these remind me that at a tender age of 6 years old, things can be very terrifying, and you don't really think through things logically with acumen. And I'm finding it increasingly important for me to remember and revisit these memories about how I felt and the emotions I was going through as a 6-year-old as I get ready to become a mother myself and raise my own daughter. And I'm hoping that this may be a window into the child's mysterious mind, perhaps, and I won't forget these thoughts. And in light of sharing the story with you, I did want to pose a question to all of you. What are some embarrassing memories or thoughts that you have from your childhood, and what can you learn from them now? Thank you.
Viviana delivered the number 5 speech, Your Body Speaks. This is a very challenging speech because, like Goldilocks, you can have too hot, too cold, too soft, too hard. You can have too many gestures, too few gestures, too much movement, too little movement. You have to find what's just right. And I believe that Viviana succeeded. I saw several things that I liked a lot. And among those are the way that you talked about the movement from the bedroom toward the kitchen. That's where you really began to use your body and your gestures effectively. And as you described that section of the story. Also, that's the point where you began to use bigger gestures and more of your tools with your facial expressions, your movement, the way you postured yourself, and your eyes. And it all revolved around getting away from this. Because on the areas for improvement, when you first came here and you were right behind this, you swayed a little bit, moved a little bit back and forth. Your hand gestures were very small. They were around your waist when they need to be up here. And there were many repetitive sorts of movements that get you into that distraction from the speech. So I'd suggest think about the 1 or 2 ways that you're going to use your body to help you emphasize the message in the opening. I'd also suggest you think about cutting that opening down, because one of the things that I like most about your speech is when you connected it to motherhood, and why thinking about yourself as a child and those embarrassing experiences was so appropriate right now while you're going through the experience of becoming a mother. And connecting the opening and the closing there, and when you ask us the question, asking the question from that perspective would strengthen the speech tremendously. Another area to think about is when you're making those small gestures and other sorts of things, rather than do that, make eye contact with somebody and talk to them about a point. You know, pick, say, this part of the room to be where you focus on your sister, this part of the room where you focus on your mother. You've got, and somewhere else where it's the couch and other things. You did that to some extent, but I think that if you structure it just a little more, that it would strengthen the speech and the movements a great deal. But overall, it was a very good speech. It was a very interesting story. You were able to use all those tools of stance, movement, gesture, eye contact, and especially facial expression. And that's the part where you have your greatest strength. When you smile, you own us. And so you should use that strategically and use it more. Great speech. Thank you very much.